replace that attitude with an attitude of self-concern for the enemy. We go to church every Sunday, all right? It's already been said. You know, we preach more Old Testament passages than we preach New Testament. And we say ourselves as Christians, well, are you Christians when you keep preaching Old Testament stuff and you forget to preach the love of the New Testament? All right? In fact, you are not. That's what it comes to. But you like to hear good preaching. And these stories, and the stories of the Old Testament make good preaching, but they make poor strategy. And we have to be about the business of depending upon our religion for the strategies, so that we can in fact not only save ourselves, but save the enemy. Now we say, but you said enemy. If people kick you around and put you down, they are your enemy, right? And because they don't care about your humanity, right? Now my point being is that we have to go beyond where anyone else in America would go. We have to love even our enemy, as Christ says.
That's right.
Right? They know he said it too, but they don't do it. But you see, somebody's got to do it. The earth cannot be saved by the violence of this world. They can only be saved by the love of this world. And we have to be preparing now for something that goes beyond anything that America has produced. Right? It's a Christian nation? No, it's not. Right? It's a democracy? No, it's not. But it's a good idea. In fact, Gandhi was, Britain had said, the sun never sets on British soil. They're bragging about how they're going to steal from everybody in the world. That's what that line really means. It doesn't say how good they are. It says how brutal they are. All right? It doesn't say how wonderful they conceive the world. It's not how wonderful they conceive the world. It's how they don't care whether they tear it down or not, as long as they make a buck. All right? Now, if that's what you're talking about, they could never have religion. It is just a matter of low thinking. It is a matter of not caring about the human factor in life. And you can't do that and win anything except at the end of a gun. It's just a matter of how many people are going to be killed quicker than the rest of them. And the only reason we haven't already done it because we're afraid of the atomic bomb. We got it, but we're afraid to use it. All right? Because violence just and get more and more violence. It builds up, and we now have built up to the point that we're not for certain whether we can even use it, and we can't produce a small weapon with the atomic power we got because it's too big. It kills too many, right? And not only that, it also blows up your dollars, right? So you see, it doesn't fit our value system. And so violence has got to go any one way or the other. Because we really love money more than we love the values that beget human behavior. It seems got to prepare now for a new world. And since we're the ones that still have the picture of a new world, that's Martin King. Martin said that we must do three things. He knew he was going to be killed, right? And he went to take a vacation so he could write that final piece, right? And he says that there's three things we've got to do, right? He might as well have said, is that I'm going to tell you what to do. I wished I could be here to do it with you. But I'm not going to be here to do it with you, so I tell you what you've got to do. You've got to be able to do what? You've got to be able to end the war. Violence is your greatest problem. Got to be able to do that, right? You've got to be able to stop the hunger and the hurt in the world, right? And you've got to be able to love your neighbor. You got to. See, Jesus 2,000 years ago, Jesus was just saying, if you don't love each other, you're going to kill each other. We have 2,000 years, we've come to find out he's right. All right? He's right. Now, given that to be right, where does that take us? We've got to prepare for a decent future that only we've dreamed of and write Christmas stories about, right? But we've got to make it a reality. And when we think about that, then, only then, can we find out who we really are and who your enemy really is. See, is that what we're coming to is that we know that only love can keep us alive. I don't care what your religion is. There's only three good ideas anyway. Truth, justice, and love. And if you can't do that, or you try to find a way around it, that's where most of us do really. And now, when we think about that, is that we can't prepare for our future if we really care for living. We've got to prepare for our future. If you Gandhi, the old man was coming in. The old man was coming in to England to see the Queen, and because it was all up. He had already been, right? They knew it, but they didn't know what to do about it. And so finally the Queen called him in. The Queen didn't talk to anybody. He really talked. He came in to talk to their killers, all right? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, they're generals. So I called him in, and as he came into the airport and he landed, and remember in those days you were going down steps to get to the ground. You didn't walk straight across into the thing. Is that well anyway, I started to throw one off on. Don't forget that. Came down, and he was walking down the steps, and somebody out in the audience and said, Mr. Gandhi, what do you think about Western civilization? And the old man looked around, and I think he knew where it came from. He just looked around and played one of those games, like, where did that come from? it would be a good idea. How they planned it is not a good idea. How we must plan it is a very